The World Bank plans to boost lending to poor nations, including some in Africa, by $100 billion over the next 3 years. Bank and International Monetary Fund policymakers met in Washington last weekend, and VOA's Paul Ndiho looks at the case of Africa.
The International Monetary Fund says African economies have paid a heavy price because of the worldwide decline in demand for African goods. Antoinette Say is the IMF Director for Africa.
We see the prospects for Africa significantly worse than they looked 6 months ago when we were last here, back in October. Of course, as a result of what's happening in the rest of the world and the impact of the crisis on the region.
The IMF says in its regional economic outlook that because 2/3 of countries in sub-Saharan Africa are experiencing low to moderate levels of debt distress, they should increase public spending to stimulate domestic demand.
Sub-Saharan African growth in 2009, therefore, is projected at only some 1.5%, 1.5%, a drop of almost 4 percentage points from 2008. And growth is expected to recover in 2010 to under 4%, which is still below its pre-crisis levels.
Several African finance ministers took part in the Commonwealth Ministerial Debt Sustainability Forum. The Deputy Secretary General of the Commonwealth Secretariat, Ransford Smith, explained the meeting's focus.
The primary concern is to ensure debt sustainability, to ensure that those countries who have had debt relief do not relapse under the pressure of increased borrowing or under the pressures of the international economic crisis into debt distress. So we are concerned that we should assist them in terms of debt sustainability.
The African finance ministers noted that additional donor funding for development projects and debt relief is urgently needed in their countries. Sutumbeku Musukotwani is Zambia's finance minister.
The debt relief has made a very big difference to us in terms of our ability to generate resources to fund other important aspects of development.
The ministers said that without additional donor support, some African countries would have to phase out subsidies and raise interest rates, increasing hardships on the poor. Paul Ndiho, VOA News.